Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Mount Tammany Ridge. This morning I'm starting out with not the usual that I'm used to doing at this time of day, but before I'm allowed to go down to the wood yard, according to my wife anyway, I gotta change the oil on her buggy. So I don't know if you're familiar with the Clinton Town Car. It's a 2006 Clinton Town Car, and we call it a Clinton Town Car because, well, when you're going down the road, it clinks and it clanks all the time, and we're afraid to leave town because we're not sure how far we're going to make it. So that's our nickname for the old Clinton Town Car. So yeah, I'm going to get to it here because I'm excited to get down to the wood yard today. It's really going to be a nice day. It's going to be in the mid 50s here in New Jersey, and really great opportunity. We have one more day of reprieve from hauling freight because they're shut down today at the warehouse. So I'm going to take advantage of it and get down there and get at it. I'm even probably going to spend a little bit of that time doing some cleaning up around the wood yard because my workspace that I have around the log splitter is getting to be a little treacherous. So um, there's probably going to be about a 50-50 thing there. So let's get to it and get this obstacle out of my way here, and we can get on down to having some fun. But not not that quiet. So all right, well, I'll be back in a few minutes. We're going to let this thing drain out and do its thing, and I'm going to go clean my hands up real quick, see if I can scavenge up some more rags. Seem to be on a shortage. All right, so I had some audio issues here, and I don't know what happened. I have a Bluetooth style mic that plugs into the OBD on my phone, and my mic is up on the bill of my hat, and it's been working great so far, but something glitched out and kind of left me stranded here. So I'm gonna make a desperate attempt here to try to salvage, what I can of this video. Quite a bit of the audio is gone, so I'm gonna give it a shot here. So what I'm doing right now is I'm snooping around under the hood of the car, trying to get familiar with where the oil filter is located. And fortunately, I had found that it's right behind the bumper, close to the oil pan. So fortunately for me, it was a easy access type of situation. And note here, I'm fiddle farting around with the oil plug, and any of you guys know it's very, very important to keep an eye on the oil plug if there's any debris on the magnet, and make sure it's super clean. Wipe it down with a rag before you put that baby back up in there. This car's got quite a few miles on it. It's like 200 and probably 30,000 miles on it. And I guess for a Toyota, it's not a big deal. But well, we don't know what kind of care was taken of this car all the years prior to us getting it. So, while I'm under here, I'm kind of taking inventory, looking around, checking on some other things, seeing if I have any other leaks. And fortunately, there's really nothing alarming. We've replaced quite a few suspension components, the anti-sway bar links and both struts, and I think there was a tie rod end we had replaced, and it's still making a bunch of noises down there. I have to, I guess, maybe bring it to a mechanic and have them get a really close look at it. We tried everything we knew how to do to get rid of the noise. So Knowing my luck, it's probably something really, really simple. I just don't have any way to lift the car up and release all of the suspension load to get things to kind of hang loosely so I can jiggle things around. So it's, the downside of not having a car lift. So it is what it is. I was struggling a little bit here with this wrench. I'm trying to milk this plug along. Apparently the people who had it before us, they had stripped it out. So the not the threads, the hex head. So I'm trying to be real gentle here, tightening it up so I don't slip it and make it worse. So far so good. And I guess trying to figure, okay, so I guess right now I'm actually preparing to put the oil filter in. It is really funny how tiny these oil filters are for these cars. It's kind of comical, actually. All the oil filters and fuel filters that I have used in most of my vehicles have always been pretty big trucks. So my oil filters are like 4 times the size, maybe even more than that, of these little zip around cars. So yeah, it's frustrating. You can see I'm struggling with a shortage of rags. That having that soft rag there it's doing the job, I guess, but unfortunately it's holding oil. So really all it's doing is giving myself a nice thin even coat of oil on both hands. So yeah, the look of frustration on my face, I'm sure, is probably something funny to look at, but fortunately I'm off camera for that. So yeah, here I'm making sure that I put a nice thin layer of oil on the O-ring, making sure that the next time I go to take it off, it's not stuck on there. The putting oil on the O-ring, it doesn't matter whether it's used oil or fresh oil. I know probably some of you out there that disagree with that, but it's not oil to go and get circulated through the motor. It's just used as an anti-stick kind of thing. It just helps it not freeze up on you. I've seen situations where the rubber O-ring has basically glued itself to the manifold where you screw the spin-on filter to, and we've stabbed screwdrivers through the filters and used all kinds of wrenches not specified for that application. We've gotten special part number so-and-so oil filter wrench and couldn't get those things off. So once we finally did, get some of these oil filters off, you'd see that the rubber literally tore and stuck to the actual manifold. So, in a lot of cases, it makes for a terrible experience taking off an oil filter when it does that. But the worst part of that experience, I believe, is when you have a manifold location for your oil filter housing in such a tight, awkward, slippery, dark spot, and you've got to be up there with a flat blade razor, just the blade itself, because you can't fit anything else up in there, trying to get all that gunk, that dried up petrified rubber off of there. It slices up your fingers good and your knuckles. The frustration levels maximum overload, And you have to go up there and keep wiping it and looking with a flashlight and making sure you didn't leave anything behind, because if you do, it's like having what they call a double O-ring, say on a fuel filter. If you forget to take the original O-ring off and you put a new O-ring on and you spin that filter on, you're going to get blow-by of some sort, whether it's air getting into a fuel system or oil pressure pushing oil out of where that O-ring is because of debris left behind. So finally, we're at the home stretch here, and get to finally put the oil in the car. And I'm sure at this point I'm reminding everybody to make sure you double check that you put your oil plug back in before you start dumping fresh oil through your motor and onto the driveway. Fortunately, I've personally never experienced that. However, I had a family member that had, and some really funny stories seem to pop up every year when the family gets together about that same exact situation. So it always makes for a good laugh. So the oil filter or the oil funnel doesn't exactly rest on there in such a way that is confidence inspiring. So I'm gonna have to take it easy here. Now I'm pretty confident. Yep. This is when I. Yep. This is when I was explaining how to prevent gurgle with the bottles. When you lay them over sideways, it drastically reduces the chance of getting gurgle. So that way your oil doesn't. How can I say? Jettison out and then choke off and then shoot back out and choke off, and you end up getting it all over the place. So this is definitely the best method. All the other methods, they end up causing an air pocket in the bottle, and it's like having the vent cap on your gasoline can still shut when you're trying to pour gasoline. It only lets a certain amount out, and then all of a sudden that bubble pops and it allows a whole bunch to come out, and you just get it all over. So this method here has always worked best for me. It's not to say that you can't still make a mess if you accidentally tip this bottle, because they can get kind of heavy. You get a little twitch in your arm, or you try to make a little adjustment. If you tip that too far forward, it's going to come flying out. And then, of course, your reflexes make you flip the bottle back the other way. And then, of course, you're like, well, and then you overcompensate and you flip it back forward again. And, been through there, that whole situation, done that. But over time, you learn how to have a little bit more muscle control. And it works with everything. It works with window washer fluid, coolant, all that. So for any of you newbies to the DIY life, you might find some of this stuff a little helpful. Yep. So now I'm gonna just back the car down off the ramps, try to level it out a little bit, so I can get a better reading on the dipstick. I want to make sure I'm not overfilling it. So right now I'm walking over to the pasture and wanted to take an opportunity to get the camera nice and close to one of our boarders' horses, and his name is Luke, and he's a really cool horse. He reminds me very much of my mother's first horse, except I think he's a standard bred. I'm not super sharp. There's some horse breeds that are very obvious, and then there are some that their differences are not so obvious. So this is Luke here, and he's just chilling out. His mom took him for a long ride yesterday, and probably pooped him out. So he's up here just chilling out on the high ground. It's a little bit drier up here than at the bottom of the hill, so it's probably a smart move on his part. So it won't make him such a big mess, or his blanket for that matter. Man, oh man, at last, I'm finally down here. It's got to be 2:15 now. I was up there tinkering with the car, probably, I don't know, 1 o'clock-ish, somewhere around there. Something that's, maybe a 5 minute, less than 10-minute job, somewhere in that range. Turned out to be a little bit of a fiasco. Uh, had what I thought was my phone glitching out on me, and it turned out it was just the storage on my phone was full. But because I'm so far back in the Stone Age, um, my understanding of how the storage on the phone and all the functions and everything are so limited. I had to rely on my wife, and possibly my wife may have even messaged my stepdaughter, uh, maybe to help her get through it too. But turns out everything's fine. I can now continue to record, and won't be getting kicked off until my trash bin is full. Apparently that was the problem. My trash bin was full, and I had no idea what the heck that was, and they straightened that all out for me. So kudos to Teresa for getting me back online here. So speaking of Teresa, one of these days, not too long from now, I'm sure I'll be able to get her in front of the camera, and maybe she'll come down and help with the firewood a little bit here and there with stacking in the totes and so on. So we'll cross that bridge not too far down the road. So yeah, I'm gonna be down here tinkering with more of this stuff. I gotta split up the rest of this oak. It's definitely not gonna happen before the sun goes down, that's for sure. As you can see over here, I mentioned earlier that my workspace here around my feet is getting to be a little on the dangerous side. So I just want to make sure I can scoop it up, and I got the skid loader over here, um, and the big bucket on there. So we're gonna get that stuff dealt with. I'm not decided entirely on exactly where I'm gonna put it at the moment, um, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So let's get into it, and I'll kick the camera on whenever I'm not wasting a bunch of time. I'll talk to you in a minute. I know I'm kind of just grasping at straws here as trying to find a solution here on the fly, but kind of working on fragments of available time here, so doing as much as I can by myself. Alright, so trying to use these bigger chunks is, I don't know how much you can see exactly what I'm trying to do here from all the way over there, but I'm using these bigger chunks to outline the bottom of this IBC tote. So then I can come over and take the excavator. Oop, almost dropped you guys. Sorry about that. See, I'm trying to outline the bottom of this IBC tote so I can put the smalls all in the middle with the excavator. So using these big pieces to do that. Yeah, I think my placement of that firewood tote there was a little premature. All right, everybody, we're all set. I got 1/3 of a cord split. It's all oak. Um, the rain's starting to move in now. Trying to let the machine cool down so I could put a cover over the engine and keep it out of direct rain. Next few days or so is going to be really crummy. So fortunately, I don't think I'm going to be doing anything down here, which is a bummer. But other than that, yeah, I think we're gonna end the video here. One thing I did want to mention is anything about the Champion splitter. If you guys would like me to do like a first impressions kind of a review on the things I like, things I don't like about the machine, just let me know. It's a Champion splitter. It's a 37-ton, and it has the ability to flip up. And yeah, if you could just comment down below, let me know if I get, say, if I get 100 likes, I'll without a doubt be doing like a first impressions review. 100 likes is the goal, and we'll see what we can do to get something like that done. Not sure if I'm going to get it done this week, because I might have to do it in the garage if I do, because like I said, it's going to be raining. But anywho, thanks again if you made it this far. I appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, smash that like button. Smash it, smash it, smash it. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Have a good night.